There is a trick, a dark, ancient trick that the powerful have used for centuries. It doesn't require money, it doesn't require physical strength, it doesn't require a title or a position. Yet it makes people obey, willingly, eagerly, without ever realizing they've been moved like pieces on a chessboard. Machiavelli knew it. The rulers of empires knew it. And after today, you will know it too. Most people walk through life completely unaware. They think they make their own choices. They believe their decisions are free. But the truth is cold and uncomfortable. The masses are guided by invisible hands. They follow scripts written by those who understand the mechanics of human nature. This is not conspiracy. This is psychology. This is power in its purest, most undiluted form. You clicked on this video for a reason. Something inside you knows there is more to influence than what society teaches. You sense that the rules you were given are incomplete. You are correct. The real rules are never spoken aloud. They are passed in whispers among those who dominate. They are written in books most will never read. They are practiced by men whose names you will never know, but whose influence shapes the world you live in. Today, I am going to hand you a weapon. Not a weapon of violence, a weapon of understanding. When you see what I am about to show you, people will never look the same again. You will watch conversations differently. You will hear requests differently. You will understand why some men command rooms, while others beg for scraps of attention. This is your invitation into a world most fear to enter, the world of strategic minds, the world of calculated silence, the world where power is not taken, but engineered. Listen closely. Your transformation begins now. The nature of true power. Let me tell you something that will change how you see everything. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. The man who demands respect never truly has it. The one who announces his strength is broadcasting his weakness. True power is silent. It moves without announcement. It controls without commands. This is the first lesson you must burn into your mind. There are two types of power in this world. The first is visible power, titles, money, position. This is the power that society teaches you to chase, get the promotion, buy the car, collect the status symbols. But visible power is fragile. It depends on external validation. It can be taken away with a single decision from someone above you. The second type is invisible power. This is the power Machiavelli understood. It lives in the space between words. It operates through perception, suggestion, and strategic positioning. A man with invisible power can lose everything external and rebuild within months, because his power lives inside him. It lives in how others feel when they are near him. Most men spend their entire lives chasing the wrong form of power. They climb ladders built by others. They play games with rules designed for them to lose. They exhaust themselves pursuing symbols while ignoring substance. You are going to be different. From this moment forward, you will study what actually moves people, not what should move them, not what logically makes sense, but what truly, psychologically, undeniably compels human beings to follow, to trust, to obey. Human nature has not changed in thousands of years. The same desires that drove men in ancient Rome drive men today. Fear, pride, greed, the need to belong, the need to feel significant. These are your tools now. Learn them, master them, become fluent in the unspoken language of influence. The psychology of obedience. Here is an uncomfortable truth. Human beings are born to follow. It is wired into our biology. For thousands of years, survival depended on belonging to a group. The man who wandered alone became prey. The one who stayed with the tribe lived another day. This ancient programming still runs in the background of every mind you will ever encounter. People do not want freedom as much as they claim. What they want is the feeling of freedom while being quietly guided. They want someone to structure their chaos. They want permission to act. They want validation for their choices. The man who understands this holds the strings. Obedience is not about force. Force creates resistance. It builds resentment. It requires constant energy to maintain. True obedience is engineered through something far more elegant. It is built through belief. When a person believes they are choosing to follow, they will follow forever. When they believe your guidance serves them, they will thank you for their own compliance. This is the psychology most will never grasp. Machiavelli observed that men are simple in their needs. They want to feel safe, they want to feel important, they want to avoid pain more than they seek pleasure. Give a man safety and significance, and he will hand you his loyalty without hesitation. Threaten either one, and he will become your enemy for life. The masses do not analyze. They feel, they react, they make decisions based on emotion and then construct logical explanations afterward. This is not criticism. This is reality. The strategic mind does not judge human nature. He accepts it completely and operates within its laws. You are learning to see the machinery beneath the surface. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you understand it, you become dangerous in the most calculated way. The Dark Trick Revealed, Part 1. Now we arrive at the core. The trick that makes people obey without realizing. Pay close attention. This is not something you will hear in schools or seminars. This is knowledge that stays hidden because it works too well. The dark trick is this. You must make people believe that following you is their own idea, not your suggestion, not your command, their decision, their choice, their victory. When a man thinks he has chosen his path, he will defend that path with his life. He will ignore contradicting evidence. He will fight those who challenge it. Because to admit he was led is to admit he was fooled. And the human ego cannot survive that wound. So how do you plant a choice inside another mind? You do not push. Pushing creates resistance. You do not argue. Arguments build walls. Instead, you create conditions. You engineer environments where only one option feels right. You remove alternatives quietly. You make your desired outcome appear as the obvious solution to their problem. This requires patience. It requires observation. You must understand what a person wants before they fully understand it themselves. You must listen more than you speak. You must watch their patterns, their fears, their insecurities, and then you position yourself as the answer they were already looking for. Machiavelli wrote that the wise man does what he must while appearing to do what others wish. This is the essence. You move strategically while letting others believe they are directing the play. They feel autonomous. They feel respected. They feel intelligent. Meanwhile, the outcome was designed from the beginning. This is not manipulation for harm. This is the architecture of influence. Every leader, every negotiator, every person of consequence understands this principle. Now you are being let into that room. The Dark Trick Revealed, Part 2. Or let me take you deeper now. The trick has layers. The surface level is making people believe they chose to follow. But beneath that lies something even more powerful. You must make people feel indebted to you without ever asking for anything directly. This is the silent chain that binds loyalty. It is called strategic generosity. You give first, but not randomly, not desperately. You give in calculated ways that create emotional debt. A favor at the right moment. Information they could not get elsewhere. Access they did not expect. Protection they did not ask for, but suddenly needed. When you give without demanding return, something shifts in the human psyche. A weight appears, an invisible obligation. The receiver cannot rest until balance is restored. They will look for ways to repay you. They will support you without being asked. They will defend you in rooms you never enter. This is how empires of influence are built, not through force, but through the accumulation of unpaid debts. The key is subtlety. The moment you remind someone of what you gave, the spell breaks. They feel manipulated. Resentment replaces gratitude. You must give and then appear to forget. Let them remember. Let them carry the weight while you remain light and unbothered. There is another layer still. You must become necessary. Not needed in a weak, desperate way. Necessary in a structural way. Position yourself so that your absence creates problems. Make your presence solve things others cannot solve alone. When people realize that life is harder without you, they will work to keep you close. They will protect your position because it serves their interests. This is how you make obedience feel like self-preservation. They follow you because not following becomes unthinkable. Controlling perception. Everything you think you know about reality is filtered through perception, not truth. Perception. And here is where the strategic mind gains his greatest advantage. You do not need to be the strongest. You do not need to be the smartest. You do not need to be the most talented. You need to control what others believe about you. That is the game. Perception is the battlefield where real power is won or lost. Machiavelli understood that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But what he emphasized even more was this: it matters less what you are and more what you appear to be. The prince who appears merciful, faithful, humane, and religious is safer than the one who actually possesses all those qualities but fails to display them strategically. This is not about being fake. This is about being intentional. Most men walk through life leaking information. They tell everyone their plans. They broadcast their emotions. They reveal their weaknesses in casual conversations without realizing the cost. Every piece of information you give away is a weapon that can be used against you. The man of power controls his narrative with discipline. He shares selectively. He reveals only what serves his position. He lets mystery do the work that explanations never could. When people do not fully understand you, they fill in the gaps with their imagination. And imagination almost always inflates. Strategic ambiguity is your ally. You do not need to lie. Lies are fragile and require maintenance. Instead, you simply do not confirm. You do not deny. You let silence speak. You let others draw conclusions while you remain above the noise. There is power in being unknowable. When people cannot predict you, they cannot control you. When they cannot read your reactions, they tread carefully. You become a force that must be respected because you cannot be calculated. Control the information flow around your life. Curate what is seen. Protect what must remain hidden. Shape the story others tell about you by controlling the evidence they have access to. This is not paranoia. This is architecture. You are building a fortress of perception. Every word you speak, every reaction you show, every silence you hold adds a brick to that structure. Build wisely. Build coldly. Build with the understanding that in the game of power, the man who controls the narrative controls the outcome. Always. The cold calculation. Emotion is the enemy of strategy. Let me say that again so it burns into your mind. Emotion is the enemy of strategy. The man who reacts from feeling will always be controlled by those who provoke those feelings. Anger makes you predictable. Fear makes you hesitant. Excitement makes you careless. Love makes you blind. Every emotional state is a doorway through which others can enter and manipulate your decisions. The Machiavellian mind operates differently. It observes emotion without being consumed by it. It feels but does not follow. It recognizes the sensation rising in the chest and pauses before that sensation becomes action. This pause is everything. In that small space between stimulus and response lives your entire power. Most men have no pause. They are slaves to reaction. Someone insults them and they fire back immediately. Someone praises them and they soften instantly. Someone threatens them and they either cower or explode. These men are open books. They can be played like instruments by anyone willing to press the right keys. You are going to become unreadable. You are going to develop the cold calculation that separates dangerous men from common men. This does not mean you become a robot. It does not mean you kill your humanity. It means you choose when to display emotion and when to withhold it. It means your reactions become tools rather than leaks. When you do show anger, it is deliberate and terrifying because it is rare. When you do show warmth, it is valuable because it is earned. The discipline of detachment requires practice. You must train yourself to observe your own mind. When you feel triggered, you must learn to ask one question. What does this person gain if I react right now? Often the answer reveals the trap. They gain your energy. They gain confirmation of your weakness. They gain control over your state. Deny them that victory. Stay cold. Stay watchful. Let them wonder what you are thinking while you analyze everything they are revealing. Here is the deeper truth. When you remove emotion from your decisions, you begin to see people with terrifying clarity. You notice patterns they do not see in themselves. You hear what they are really saying beneath their words. You watch their eyes, their breathing, their micro-expressions. You begin to read the room like a text written just for you. This is the cold calculation. It is not cruelty, it is clarity. The strategic mind does not hate his opponents. He does not love his allies blindly. He assesses, he positions, he moves with precision while others stumble through fog. Emotion will still visit you. Let it visit, acknowledge it, but never let it sit in the driver's seat. You are the commander of your inner world. The moment you lose that command, you become a pawn in someone else's game. Masters of power throughout history shared this trait. They could sit across from enemies and smile. They could receive terrible news and remain still. They could watch chaos unfold and calculate their next move while others panicked. This is your training now. Every day, practice the pause. Practice the observation. Practice the cold eye that sees without reacting. In time, it will become your nature, and when it does, you will be untouchable. Becoming untouchable. There is a level of power that most will never reach. It is the level where attacks cannot land, where criticism dissolves before it touches you, where enemies exhaust themselves throwing punches at smoke. This is the untouchable state, and this is where I am taking you now. Becoming untouchable is not about building walls of arrogance. It is not about pretending you are above everyone else. That is the posture of the insecure man who secretly fears exposure. True untouchability is built from the inside out. It begins with the complete acceptance of yourself, every flaw, every failure, every shameful moment in your past. When you have faced your own darkness fully, no one can use it against you. The weapon only works if the target fears its revelation. Own your story entirely and you disarm every enemy before they even strike. The next layer of the fortress is strategic positioning. You must build a life where your removal causes inconvenience to those who might consider moving against you. This means creating alliances across multiple circles. This means being valuable in ways that are difficult to replace. This means never putting all your power in one basket that can be taken with a single blow. The untouchable man has options. He has relationships in different worlds. He has skills that transfer across domains. He has resources hidden from public view. When one door closes, he walks calmly to another. This is not paranoia. This is preparation. The weak call it excessive. The powerful call it survival. You must also master the art of strategic withdrawal. Not every battle deserves your presence. Not every insult requires a response. Not every provocation merits your energy. The untouchable man chooses his engagements with ruthless selectivity. He ignores what is beneath him. He sidesteps traps that would entangle lesser men. He preserves his power for moments that truly matter. Silence in the face of noise is a devastating weapon. When you do not respond, you communicate something profound. You communicate that the attack was insignificant. You communicate that the attacker is unworthy of your attention. You communicate strength so deep that words bounce off without effect. Let others scream into the void. Your silence will haunt them more than any retaliation ever could. The fortress mindset requires daily maintenance. You must guard your inner peace with ferocity. You must choose what enters your mind through the content you consume, the people you entertain, the environments you tolerate. Every influence either strengthens or weakens your walls. Be ruthless in your curation. Remove what poisons your clarity. Protect what fuels your power. Finally, understand this truth deeply. The untouchable man is not cold because he feels nothing. He is cold because he feels everything but refuses to be controlled by it. He has built a command center within himself, where logic overrides impulse, where strategy defeats emotion, where long-term vision crushes short-term temptation. This is the fortress you are building now, brick by brick, decision by decision, until one day you realize that nothing outside can shake what you have constructed inside. That is the day you become truly untouchable. The application, living this philosophy. Knowledge without application is entertainment. You did not come here to be entertained. You came here to transform. So let me show you how to take everything you have learned and weave it into the fabric of your daily existence. This philosophy is not for special occasions. It is not a suit you wear to important meetings and then hang in the closet. It is a way of breathing, a way of seeing, a way of moving through the world that becomes inseparable from who you are. Start with observation. From tomorrow morning, watch people differently. Listen to what they say, but pay closer attention to what they do not say. Notice who seeks validation. Notice who controls conversations without raising their voice. Notice who reacts and who responds. The world becomes your classroom when you develop the eyes to see the games being played around you constantly. Every interaction is practice. Every negotiation is a laboratory. Next, apply strategic patience in your own affairs. Before you speak in important moments, pause. Ask yourself what outcome you actually want. Ask yourself what this person needs to hear to move in that direction. Ask yourself what you might reveal that would weaken your position. This calculation should happen in seconds, but it should happen every time. Impulse is the enemy. Intention is the weapon. Build your network with cold precision. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every friendly face is an ally. Evaluate people by their actions over time rather than their words in the moment. Keep your inner circle small and tested. Let your outer circle be wide but shallow. Give different levels of trust to different levels of proven loyalty. This structure protects you while allowing expansion. Now I must speak of responsibility. This knowledge is fire. It can warm your home or burn down everything you love. The power to influence carries the weight of consequence. Use these tools to build. Use them to protect yourself and those who depend on you. Use them to navigate a world that does not reward the naive, but do not use them to destroy without cause. Do not use them to exploit the vulnerable. Do not become the tyrant you would despise in another man. There is a line between strategic and predatory. The strategic man wins without unnecessary damage. He achieves his aims while allowing others their dignity when possible. He understands that cruelty breeds enemies who wait in shadows for the moment of weakness. The wise prince is feared but not hated. Hatred fuels rebellion. Fear without hatred creates compliance without the hidden knife. Walk this line with precision. Your character is your foundation. All the strategy in the world cannot save a man who is rotten at his core. Build yourself into someone worthy of the power you are acquiring. Discipline your body. Sharpen your mind. Cultivate integrity in the places no one sees. The private man determines the power of the public man. This is the path of applied Machiavellianism, not theory, not fantasy, real integration into a real life. Begin today, begin now. Or nah. The final command. You have walked through fire to reach this moment. Not physical fire, but something far more transformative. The fire of awareness. The fire of truth that burns away comfortable illusions and leaves only what is real and useful. You are not the same person who started this video. Something has shifted inside you. A door has opened that cannot be closed. You have seen behind the curtain of human interaction. You have learned the dark trick that makes people obey without realizing, not through force, not through manipulation that leaves destruction in its wake, but through the elegant architecture of influence that positions you as the answer to what others already seek. You understand now that true power is invisible. It does not announce itself. It does not demand recognition. It moves silently through perception, through strategic generosity, through emotional debt that binds without chains. You know that obedience is not commanded, but engineered through making people believe they chose their path freely. You have learned to control perception like an artist controls his canvas. Strategic ambiguity is now your brush. Selective revelation is your palette. The narrative others believe about you is no longer an accident but a deliberate construction. You build your reputation brick by brick with cold intention. Mystery works in your favor. Silence speaks louder than explanations ever could. The cold calculation lives within you now. You feel emotion, but you're not ruled by it. The pause between stimulus and response has become your throne room where decisions are made with clarity instead of reaction. You read people like open books while remaining unreadable yourself. This asymmetry of information is your permanent advantage in every room you enter. You are building the fortress of the untouchable. Your psychological armor strengthens daily. Attacks that would devastate ordinary men dissolve before reaching your core. You have faced your own darkness and owned it completely, so no enemy can weaponize your past against you. You withdraw from battles unworthy of your presence and preserve your energy for wars that matter. And you are applying this philosophy with responsibility. You understand that fire can warm or destroy. You choose to build rather than burn without cause. Your power serves your purpose and protects those within your circle. You walk the line between strategic and predatory with precision because you know that unnecessary cruelty breeds the enemies who strike when you least expect. This is your transformation. This is your awakening. But knowledge fades without reinforcement. Wisdom requires repetition. Return to this video when the world tries to pull you back to sleep. Return when you feel your edge dulling. Return when you need to remember who you are becoming. The path of the strategic mind is not walked once. It is walked daily until it becomes the only path you know. Let me leave you with something to carry forward, a phrase that captures the essence of everything we have discussed. I want you to write this in the comments below, not just to engage with this content, but to declare your commitment to this path. The phrase is this: I move satisfying them while positioning myself. Write it now. Let it mark this moment as the beginning of your new chapter. Let the algorithm see that you are part of a community of strategic minds who refuse to sleepwalk through existence. Your comment matters. It tells others that this knowledge is valued. It helps spread this message to those who need it desperately but have not yet found it. Now I ask one more thing of you. If this video has given you value, if something here has shifted your understanding, hit the like button. It costs you nothing, but it signals that content like this deserves to exist. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. This is not the end. This is the beginning. More knowledge awaits. Deeper strategies, darker psychology, colder truths that will continue to sharpen your mind into an instrument of power. Turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next. The world does not wait for the unprepared. Neither should you. Go now. Apply what you have learned. Watch people differently starting today. Speak with intention starting now. Build your fortress one decision at a time. The game is always being played. Now you know the rules. Now you have the tools. Now you are dangerous in the way that matters most. Silent, strategic, untouchable.